Good morning, world. Welcome to Chats with Baba. In our continued discussion, today I want to chat about the E's, the letter E, the E's of life. The intent of this chat is to really empower parents to empower their children. And so with that, just let me read a statement from the book by Amos Wilson, Unlock the Natural Genius in Black Children. Okay. And this is what he says. The quality and variety of learning experiences which occur during infancy and early childhood are the most important factors which determine the character and power of later intelligence. Think about what he's saying here. What goes on during the early stages, infancy and early childhood, are the two most important areas of development as it relates to later intelligence. He talks about the relationship between intelligence and experience. For example, the more experiences a child is provided, and the more those experiences are enriched, it broadens the intelligence. I mean, I think that makes sense. For example, if you set out just to make some cookies, sugar cookies, okay, you have a little flour, a little butter, a little sugar, and you bake them. So you got a sugar cookie. Now, if you want that to be the quality of that cookie to improve, you add more elements. If you want raisins, if you want chips, so all of that is you are enriching the quality of the ingredients that go into the cookie. So therefore, the quality of the cookie is better. It tastes better, and you want more of them. So today I want to talk about the relationship between exposure and experience, and how those elements relate to your child's or children's intelligence. For example, what's the purpose of education? Well, most of us think that the purpose of education, is to get a job and on and on and on. But some of the great scholars say it goes beyond that. It's about sustaining survival. Okay, it's about sustaining survival, and that is as one generation passes on to the next, all those things that improve the quality of life. So that's so the idea is that it is intergenerational. It passes on from one generation to the next, to the next, to the next. Now, let me go back to the E's. So education is one of the E's. And the quality of education will impact the quality of life. During the early years of growth and development, as a parent, you provide lots of things for children to examine, another E. And they examine things that they like to tinker with, what makes it function, why does it function, and so forth and so on. And so you may sit there and observe the child as he or she is tinkering and examining this. And if they get a little confused, then you will assist them. If this item is of interest, they will continue tinkering with it or put it down and find something else to tinker with. And as they're tinkering, they're constantly being exposed. Okay, they're constantly being exposed. And as they are being exposed, it's broadening their base. And the more you broaden your base, the more items that go into the thought processes of what they can tinker with later on. So the exposure to a host of items enables them to continue to examine and to experience a variety of things. And all I'm saying is that as we talk about the genius, the unfolding of the genius, it's like that cake batter. The more you put into it, the better your cake is going to be and to taste. And so that is to say that what you're doing is and you're enriching the child by exposing him or her to a variety of things. So you have the E's of education, the E of exposure, the E of enrichment, and on and on and on. And so all of this goes into becoming empowered. You may not see it, but you are really empowering not only your child but yourself. And as they and this exposure is just broadening their base as they are developing and getting older. Now, what does that say? We know the research tells us this, that 85% of the brain is developed between infancy and the age of 5. So this is what is known as a critical period. And during this critical period, another word I think which is important is your investment into the child. And the investment has to do with some of the E's that I'm talking about: exposure, experience, etc. All of this leads to what? All of this leads to empowering the child as they continue to develop. Now, what's at the end of the road? At the end of the road is the possibility of them becoming an entrepreneur, another E. Okay, so that's hopefully where all of this is leading to. And we don't know, but we do know that by investing, we know that through the investments, you are enriching your child as he or she is growing and developing. Yeah, all of the exposure and experiences as children grow and develop, they become a little more challenging and a little more difficult, which is okay. If the youngster is challenged and empowered by you, them taking on other difficult tasks just fits into their willingness to examine things. Now, their willingness to do this has a lot to do with them also gaining confidence of self, okay? Self-confidence. And children, as they're examining, I'm just telling you from experience, they will examine and they will also look up at you to see what kind of feedback that you're giving them. And many times we just need to sit there and just observe them. And when they are experiencing some challenges that they just don't have the skill to complete the task, that's where we can intervene to assist them. Not do it for them, but to assist them through wherever the encounter is. But again, I just think it's important that you continue to provide a variety of experiences and to enrich the quality of those experiences as they get older. And much of this has to do with your willingness to attend to them. And through their examination, they're always seeking out opportunities to endeavor, another E, to endeavor to try things that are a little more difficult and a little more challenging. And in doing so, they're also gaining confidence and stuff. Where does all this lead to? Well, we don't quite know, but I think they're growing up in what we know is a very changing world. And they want to have the knowledge, skills, and the proficiencies to be able to function in that world, to become a productive and contributing citizen. As I was speaking about exposure and experiences, let me try to be a little more specific. In warm weather, children like to dig and explore what's in the earth. Okay, they may have a tool and there's digging. And sometimes you see bugs, sometimes you see earthworms, you just see a variety of things out there. And the more they explore the earth, the more things that they uncover. Now, during this uncovering, the quality of the interaction that takes place between you and the child is very important. Okay, what you're looking at here is the social development. Okay, when you are speaking, pointing out things to the child, and so forth and so on, you are enriching their intelligence. What you can't see is what they're thinking, and what they're thinking has to do with the interaction that's taking place between you and the child. So that's very important, whether you're the parent or a caregiver. Okay, that while they are exploring, we spend time observing what they're doing, and the interaction that takes place between you and that child speaks volumes relative to what's going on in that child's mind, because the mind is expanding as they are exploring and examining. And I hope I'm not just using a lot of words here, but what you do as they are engaging is helping them to look at their environment and the surroundings. And the more that they engage with the environment, that base, that foundation of the foundation of experiences are just expanding. And the more they expand, the more the intelligence grows, and the more questions that they have that they eventually come back to as they also begin to develop proficiency in the use of language. As children are examining and as they are being exposed, it's important that you pay attention to children's facial expressions. Because the facial expressions says a lot about what's going on with them. And they are beginning to become attracted to certain items that they tinker with, certain items that they explore. And what you don't see is the internal confidence that they're developing. As you are exposing them, one of the things I think is also important is that you expose them to things, pictures that they can identify with. For example, you could have pictures, you could have books with pictures of items that they're dealing with, or you could have books with pictures of people in it. And you always want to be sensitive that you're exposing them to books with people that look like them. That is critical because it helps them in terms of finding out who they are, their self-identity, and how they can relate to those, not only the pictures, but the experiences that you are providing for them, if that makes sense. Now, don't expect this genius to show up overnight. The genius, the best way I can put it is it's sort of like putting together a puzzle. All of the pieces within the exposure begin to come together and make sense. Now, when they get to be 18 months and older, they are also developing their proficiency in the use of language. And they're beginning now to attach words to those things that they have been tinkering with. Now, remember now, all of this has been stored up in their mind. And so all of this begins to make sense in terms of color, shape, what it does, how it works, what it, and so forth and so on. So that's where your role is critical in terms of observing and the quality of interaction that takes place. You're giving language to those things that they have been tinkering with. So today, what I've tried to share with you are some of the ease of life: education, experience, exposure, enrichment, entrepreneur, empowerment, examine, in connecting the dots. All of these E's are important to your child's intelligence. All of these E's are important to you as a parent to invest in fulfilling these things as the child goes forward. So today in Chatting with Baba, we try to give you some sense of those E's that will contribute to the development of your child's intelligence. So until we chat again, enjoy and have a good day. Again, you can go to my website and look at the book, From Roots to Wings Revisited, and a lot of this is spelled out in there. Thank you, and we'll see you the next time.